30, 20 days is not enough.
30 days, yeah.
Fair?
Yeah,
What
without a doubt.
I don't think it was fair at all. Somebody's dead, and he caused it.
And those folks were talking about 30 days. Well, passions, as you can see, still running high following the sentencing of Darun Ravi earlier this week. As we all know, Darun Ravi, former Rutgers student, found guilty of using a webcam to spy on and then broadcast online an intimate encounter between his then roommate and another man. That roommate, Tyler Clementi, he took his own life days after, once he found out that his privacy was violated. Now, a judge this Monday, and we brought it to you live, sentenced Ravi to 30 days behind bars. For those of you who thought the sentence was too light, you can count me among them. Well, here's what the reality is. He's only going to serve 20 days, and that's thanks to the New Jersey state law under state regs. Any inmate handed a 30-day sentence is automatically credited with 10 days for good behavior. As you know, Ravi, he was facing up to 10 years in prison for all the charges he was convicted on. But instead, the judge chose to sentence him to those 30 days behind bars, 3 years probation, and a fine. First assistant prosecutor said she will appeal the sentence. We'll see how that plays out. Doesn't look like the feds are going to get involved to this point. But I'll get to some reaction and a standpoint. Bill, we've talked about this. When you heard the sentence, what was your take?
It's too light. I don't think there's any question. I mean, I don't think he deserved 10 years, but 20 days is just ridiculous. And you know, sentencing is so arbitrary these days. You look at the and this is a terrible case, but the police officer who was convicted of rape, and the poor woman, the teacher in Washington Heights.
Yep.
He's life without parole. I mean, it was a terrible crime. I'm not taking that away, but life without parole there and 20 days here, it's just so disparate. It's
so hard because this is a case that I think is part of the modern reality, and you can't really compare it to something else because, and I think the law is trying to catch up a little bit too to try and figure out.
That's one of the reasons why the sentence was so light, is because this is uncharted territory, and because.
And I disagree with the judge, but I will say the judge had more courage to do what he did, even though I disagreed with it. If he did a longer sentence, few would have questioned it. So it took some courage. I want to read some comments, you guys, and then jump in here. And let me read the first one. This comes from a critic of the sentence, John Becker, and his blog is Truth Wins Out. He said, in my opinion, quote, justice was not served in this sentence. What kind of message does it send to the LGBT youth and the bullies who torment them across the country? We also got another comment, this one via Facebook from Jeanette Spoor. And Jeanette sent us the comment saying, quote, the punishment was more than adequate. He's doing 30 days in jail, well, actually 20, plus compensation community service. How many of us did stupid, thoughtless, cruel things when we were young and didn't suffer the consequences this young man did? And for me, guys, as much as technology giveth, it taketh away, in that you have a new platform that you didn't have when we went to school.
That's right.
This platform creates a permanent record. It mutates instantaneously, and it multiplies by the second. To say, I didn't know, I didn't think, I'm only 18, to me it doesn't cut it. The reality is the reality. The kid thought at least he ruined his life. I'm not going to put my head in Clementi's head that day, but he created this platform, and to suggest he's just a stupid kid and this wouldn't have been the same 20 years ago, tough. It's a different world now.
He videotaped a kid without his permission. That's all he did.
No, he didn't.
That's all he did.
No,
that's all he
not
did.
What he did. Andrew, he then took the recording, told everyone to tune in Friday night at 8 o'clock, and he built an audience for it. For you to minimize that is unbelievable.
Just like he would have if he'd taken a video of somebody walking around on the quad. He would have said, hey, look at my video on the quad.
You're connoting that to what he did with a private encounter?
I'm saying you can only sentence the guy for what you know that he did.
And what he did was he created basically a town hall to debase this kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, whether the kid jumped to his death or not, to me, that's bad enough that you deserve some real punishment.
Yeah, there's a meanness to that.
Yeah.
There's a real meanness.
I'm not
saying otherwise.
And let me just make this point quickly. The prosecutor has said that they're going to appeal this. They may have a strong case because I don't know if there are minimum, and this is important, sentencing guidelines on the bias charge.
There's not, but they said traditionally, Dominic, to your point, you'd get at least 6 months for something like this because they choose the middle ground for sentencing.
So they may win the appeal, and it may take some time, but there have been cases where people have been released from jail and have been sent right back.